Hi, today we're going to talk about our most favorite topic, Disney!
We are seasoned Disney vacationers and we picked up a few tips and trips along the way. A lot of times our family and friends, if they're planning a Disney trip, they will ask us, hey, what are your tips? So we figured we'd make a video and share our tips with you as well.
So let's get started. Disney is not cheap and it is quite an expensive vacation. So our tip is to do a no spend month the month before your vacation. And what does that entail? We try not to spend money going out to eat, any kind of like frivolous snacks or foods, really any shopping.
So what we found is that when we go to Disney, we spend a lot of money at Disney, but not only that, we also tend to spend a lot of money in preparation for our Disney trip. So we've really tried to cut back on that by implementing this no spend month rule, so that we're saving a lot, and then when we go to the parks and when we indulge and when we spend, we don't feel as bad because we've saved. So our next tip is also budget related, and it is use Disney gift cards. If you are a Target Red member like Erin is, you can get discounts on gift card. So you can purchase Disney gift cards at Target for 5% off. The short-term scheme of things, it doesn't seem like a lot,
but every penny counts.
Disney gift cards can be redeemed for pretty much any Disney expense that you have at the hotels, dining, merchandise,
your tickets.
So what we do is we budget beforehand exactly how much we are going to spend. So let's say we figure that we're gonna spend $1,000 over the course of the week. We will purchase $1,000 worth of gift cards at Target, and you're saving 50 bucks right there. I mean, that's like a week's worth of coffee.
It also helps you while you're at the parks to know if you're within budget, how much. So what we would do is we would use just one gift card a day, and maybe it's like $100 or $200 just to make sure that we're kind of staying within our budget and not going too crazy. It doesn't always work, but we do try to use that as a budget tactic.
It's also great to give to the kids, so I also purchased Disney gift cards for the kids. They're a little young to understand what it is, but you know, it's good to start them young to say like, hey, I'm gonna give you a gift card and you can purchase anything that you want at Disney within this amount, so that they learn how to control their own spending.
For those, if you have birthdays or Christmas holidays prior to your trip, ask for those gift cards for your kids. And I think that's also a great way to prepare for your trip. Another point about the Disney gift cards is you can get them in other places for discounts. So you can buy them with like your credit card points. You can look to see if like your Costco or BJ sometimes have Disney gift cards. So keep your eye out to see where you can buy Disney gift cards at a discount.
So also related to budget, this is a tip that I've recently found out, and I'm a little bit embarrassed that I found it so late in the game. You can sign up for the Disney debit card for free. And what the Disney debit card is, so I requested it on a Sunday, and Chase sent it to me in the mail, I think by like that Tuesday. They sent it to me so fast. It was super easy. It didn't cost anything. And what we can do with the Disney debit card, we can receive discounts on a lot of our Disney purchases while we're at Disney. So one thing that we really took advantage of was 20% off of coffee. That is like, and we love Joffrey's coffee, so we were able to indulge in buying a Joffrey's coffee every morning at the parks, and we felt okay about it because we were getting 20% off by using my Disney debit card. We can also receive 10% off of dining, and so, you know, we looked at the restaurant list. It's not every single restaurant, but they have some really great restaurants on the list, so we were able to get 10% off of our dining, and then also you can get discounts off of merchandise when you shop at the Disney store. Sometimes there's some restrictions, like you have to spend a certain limit, but we did spend a lot of money on merch while we were there, so the Disney debit card came in handy.
All right, another tip for preparation is actually to do with your physicality. We highly recommend walking 3 miles every day in preparation for your trip, especially if you have kids. So on average, I would say in the parks, you'll walk between 8 to 10 miles a day, and it can get really, really tiring. So kind of building up your endurance and your stamina for walking is a really, really critical tip we have learned over the years.
One of the things that people really hate about Disney, and that was definitely a challenge for us, is just how exhausted you are just walking around the park. And what we found when we got to the parks is that we could easily just walk 7, 8, 9, 10 miles a day, and we actually felt okay at the end of the day, and we could wake up early the next day and do it all over again without any problems. The kids also had really great stamina. Even though we had the stroller, they were able to kind of like walk around and enjoy the day without being so exhausted or only sitting in their stroller the entire day.
Another point about in terms of preparation is also to watch movies and to introduce any characters to your kids that you'll see. So the first time we went with Joel and Hendrik, they didn't know that many Disney characters, so we did a bunch of Disney movie marathons, which are so much easier to do now thanks to Disney Plus. And it really helped them just get very excited when they saw characters in the park or when we were riding rides and they recognized characters. So highly recommend watching a bunch of Disney movies in preparation for your trip. One other piece that not many people know unless they're really well researched about Disney is you have to make dining reservations. Disney is not one of those parks where you can just kind of go and choose a restaurant wherever you want to. They have changed that a little bit due to COVID, but generally it is very hard to get walk-in dining. So there's character dining, which is quite expensive, but you will see between like 3 to 5 characters at the dining restaurant, and the website will say which one is character dining. A great way to meet characters and save time, but it will cost you. The second is signature dining, and that is like their really luxe, 3-course dining experiences. It's
Definitely a splurge.
Definitely a splurge, probably around like $40, $50 for a plate. So if you love food and you love really luxurious dining, I think it's a great experience. Third is table service, which is where you go and you sit down and eat, but it's much more affordable. I still think it's Disney prices, so it's between like $20, $30 a plate, and that's usually where we eat. And as Erica mentioned, the Chase debit card works at some of those table service restaurants. And the last is counter service, which is the one where you walk up and then you can order. Counter service you don't need any reservations for, but definitely character, signature, and table dining, you will definitely need a reservation. In the past, it used to be 180 days in advance, and the most popular restaurants would go 180 days in advance, but now it's at 60 days in advance, and still it's really hard to get dining reservations at some of the most popular restaurants.
It's a competitive sport.
It is. You'll do a lot of refreshing. They do have a pretty strict cancellation rule, so around 24 hours before you go, try to look then, because a lot of people will cancel then, so they're not charged for canceling late.
Keep on hitting that refresh button.
But if you want the guarantee, do it 60 days before. Before we go to Disney, there are certain things we will pre-purchase before we go. The first one is ponchos. Stock up on ponchos. So these come in handy because Florida weather is incredibly unpredictable, and sometimes you'll have your rain jacket, sometimes you won't, but also great for water rides. We do not like to stay in our wet clothes, and so ponchos are super key for the family to wear when we ride Splash Mountain or Cali River Rapids.
Unless you enjoy smelling like Florida water all day long.
She knows from experience. The second that I really like to do is I like to go to the dollar store and buy a bunch of glow sticks, a bunch of glow bracelets, necklaces. These are really great at night because there's a lot of shiny toys that they bring out and very expensive. So these will actually keep the kids pretty occupied when those carts start to come out and they start to ask for those.
It's just a way for the kids to feel like they're a part of the nighttime festivities without actually having to spend $20 on a
that you'll never use again.
That's gonna break that day and that's gonna drive you crazy on the drive home at night.
Other pre-purchase things that we are going to bring Joel in for is to buy pins. So an activity the kids love to do is pin trading, which is so fun. You can trade your pins with cast members. You can trade your pins at Disney hotels, at the parks. These pins are not cheap. They range from like $10 to $30. Buying them, you can buy them on eBay, you can buy them on Amazon. You can actually go to your Disney outlet store and you'll find them sometimes for $2, $3, which we've done in the past. They do sell like booster sets, so like packs of 6 or 7 that kids can then use and then trade. So you don't even have to like the pins that you buy that are on clearance because you're gonna trade them for pins that you like.
Or look how cute, you can also decorate your jacket and get into the Disney spirit if you don't want to wear ears. Look at that. I also got my Disney pin too. Pin trading is such a great activity to do. It's free, it's so much fun. It's a great thing to do like kind of on your off day, like if you just arrived to Orlando and you're looking for something to do. It's so much fun to go around the hotels and trade pins. Sometimes we do buy pins, special pins that we do not trade. They are not meant for trading, they are meant for keeping.
Here.
Look at that one, that's an autograph one.
Yes, open it up, open up. Blick.
Look at all those signatures.
Your pal. Goofy, Mickey Mouse, Pluto, Minnie Mouse, Donald Duck, Chip, Dale, Daisy Duck.
One thing that I noticed that a lot of people don't take advantage of is rider switch. So rider switch is when someone in your party does not meet the height requirement or just doesn't want to ride a ride and cannot be left unaccompanied outside. So part of your party can go in and ride the ride. And then the other members that are waiting outside, up to 3 of them, can get fast passes on their Magic Band or on their tickets or whatever so that they can switch out and ride the ride without having to wait in line again. We've definitely taken advantage of this, and we definitely would not be able to enjoy Disney as much as we do without taking advantage of rider switch, because Joel loves to ride all of the big rides, while Hendrik, even if he can ride the rides, he doesn't really want to. So I will wait outside with Hendrik, and then I can go back in with Joel. I can switch out and Joel can ride twice without having to wait in line the second time. So that's been a lot of fun. That is the way that Joel has been able to ride rides like Slinky Dog 3 times, if you've seen it from our Hollywood Studios video. So another tip that we want to give is related to snacks, and that is get the popcorn bucket. And honestly, like, it's been one of my favorite things to do. So early on in your trip, when you go, get a bucket. You don't have to get this bucket.
The special editions are about $20.
This is about $20. You don't have to buy this. I just saw it and I felt that that there was no option but to purchase it because it was so cute. You can purchase just a regular popcorn bucket for $12. And when you go get a popcorn refill, every refill is like $2. We love to snack on popcorn throughout the day. Who doesn't love popcorn?
It's a great snack that the entire family can indulge in. So if you have a pretty big family, and I think the last time we went and we had everyone, you know, grandparents, everyone, we just bought one popcorn bucket. We probably filled it 6, 7, 8 times. So it ended up being like $1 or $2 per popcorn bucket, which is really great. So it's a very cost-efficient snack, and it will definitely keep you full.
And then also the great thing that we like to do is right before we leave the parks, we fill it up, and then we can enjoy popcorn at home at night.
So one other thing we wanted to talk about is staying on property versus off property. Disney has tons of hotels. There's value resorts, moderate resorts, and deluxe resorts.
We've stayed at a variety of Disney properties ranging from value to deluxe, and we've also stayed off property. So we've kind of gotten the experience of what it is like to stay on or off property.
There's a lot of benefits for staying on property. One is you get the Magical Express, which is the Disney transportation between the airport and the parks, but it's actually going to be no longer offered starting in 2022.
So sad.
But it was definitely super helpful to have, especially because we had a little one who needed a car seat, but on a bus you don't need a car seat. So it was very convenient to not have to bring the car seat from home.
And also, it's just an awesome experience to just step off your airplane and just be immersed right away into the world of Disney. They take care of everything for you. They just take your luggage, and you can just start enjoying as soon as you get off the plane. So we're really gonna miss the Magical Express.
There are other benefits, such as you can sometimes extra magic hours or late evening hours. They don't do that right now due to COVID, but sometimes you can get in an hour earlier or stay an hour or 2 later. So that's definitely a benefit to have more hours in the park. And then there's a lot of just transportation in between the parks and the hotel. So you just never have to worry about a car. You don't have to worry about
Calling an Uber.
Yeah, you just can go to and from places. There's the Skyliner, there's the monorail, there are buses, there are even like minivans. It's their lift on property.
And they have car seats.
And it's just so nice to stay on property and like in the Disney bubble.
So this last trip, we stayed at an Airbnb just off property. It was literally like 5-10 minute drive from the theme parks. and I think we paid like half of the price that we normally would have at even a moderate or even a value resort. 5-bedroom house with a swimming pool. The kind of neighborhood that we stayed at had a lot of amenities, like a lazy river. It was actually quite a lot of fun for the kids, and if you're going with a big group, I think that staying off property, a lot of inventory available. You can find a house or an apartment that meets your party's exact need. Even then, even with all the savings, even with all the convenience, you have to provide your own transportation, which is fine because we had a car, or you can rent a car.
But if you wanted our personal opinion, which is what a lot of people ask us, is like, what would you do? We prefer to stay on property.
Yes.
Even though it is more expensive, we just really like to stay in the bubble and just be very immersed in the world, and the service is just top notch.
You cannot beat the service. Like, when you're outside of Disney property, you gotta figure everything out for yourself. There were a few family members that also stayed at Airbnb properties as we did, and they had terrible experiences. I had a terrible experience just kind of dealing with the property manager of Airbnb. If we stayed on property, that would never happen at Disney. Like, their service is so amazing. You never have to worry about it. And if you're already spending a lot on your vacation, I think it is worth the added expense to ensure that you never have to worry or stress about anything. And Disney really ensures that.
Speaking of parking and transportation, one tip to know is that parking, and this is something you should put in your budget, if you're staying off property or have a car, parking is $25 a day. You just pay kind of like a flat fee. Really racks up. But we did learn something. If you do stay off property, this is what we learned on our last trip. Parking is free after around 5 o'clock. They don't really publicize this.
So if the park is open late, or if you go to the park in the evening, the parking is free. So that is it for all of our Disney tips. Let us know if you enjoyed the video. We are a plethora of Disney knowledge and more tips. So if you would like to see more videos like this, let us know in the comments below.
And let us know what is a tip that you did not know about, or that was new to you or helpful. This isn't going to be our last Disney video. We will have some more in the future. And let us know what you would like to see. See you real soon!
That's it. Thanks for watching. Like the video. Don't forget to subscribe.